Hiya! So I've crept down into my writing shed to read you chapter 4 of my Great Granny Moo, and this one's called Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. I wake up on Sunday morning and lounge around in my pyjamas for most of the morning. I help my mum with a few chores and clean out the guinea pig's cage. Not my favourite job, I can tell you. Who would have thought something so small could make such a mess? Mind you, I think that's what my mum says about me. Around late morning, I go down to the shed where my dad is pottering around fixing stuff, although I think it's more his excuse to get out of peeling the potatoes. Hey, Dad, I say, what are you doing? Oh, just fixing things, Molly. Keep me in Mum's good books. He winks at me and carries on gluing an old picture frame, which does not look like it's going to last much longer. Do you know anything about keys, Dad? I ask. Keys? He replies. What a strange question. Why do you ask? Oh, no reason, I reply, not wanting to give too much away. I just found this little key, wondered what it might be for. I take the small silver key that Granny Moo had given me yesterday from my pocket and show it to my dad. I haven't a clue, Molly. It's very shiny, isn't it? Mind you, it's quite small. Probably comes from a padlock or something. Where did you find it? Oh, nowhere really, I say. Granny Moo thinks it may have a tale to tell, that's all. Granny Moo always has a tale to tell, laughs Dad. Always filling your head with all kinds of daydreams. She's a mischievous old thing, that one. I smile at him but say no more about it and return the key to my pocket. Maybe he's right. Maybe Granny Moo does have a vivid imagination. I mean, who ever heard of the cucarachi bird anyway? I make my way back to the house to see that Granny Moo has just arrived and is helping Mum to lay the table. The smell of roast beef and Yorkshire puddings is delicious, and I can see the golden apple pie that Granny Moo has made sitting on the kitchen worktop. Suddenly, I am starving again, but no change there. We all sit down to dinner and eat until we're fit to burst. We help Mum to clear away the dishes before she shoos us back into the lounge to keep out from under her feet while she cleans up. Me and Granny Moo flop down on the sofa, feeling lazy and full up. At that moment, I notice that the TV is on, and it's my least favourite programme of all, the news. Boring, I say, and reach for the remote control to turn the channel over. Just at that moment, the newsreader says something that catches my attention. And finally, for our last story of the day, precious jewels have been recovered belonging to a wealthy prince in Casablanca. The jewels were stolen over a period of 3 days, and it was only thanks to the intelligence and bravery of the prince that the thieves were not outsmarted. Here's John Smythe with his report. Hello, viewers, says the reporter. I'm here with the prince himself, who is of course delighted to have foiled the thieves and found his stolen rare gems. The reporter turns to a man beside him, who is wearing flowing white robes and a jewel-encrusted turban. The man is quite small and weedy-looking and speaks with a squeaky little voice. So, Your Highness, how did you manage to outsmart those thieves? Well, says the small man beside him, who I now believe is Prince Karim, it was really easy, especially for a brain such as mine. You'd have to get up pretty early in the morning to catch me out. I had an inkling who the thieves were all along, so I followed them back to their lair, and there were my jewels. The reporter looks confused for a moment and says, Oh, I see, and I trust the thieves are now in jail? Unfortunately, they managed to escape. They were probably terrified once they knew I was onto them. Anyway, at least I got my jewels back. They won't be trying that again in a hurry, says the pompous prince. Mum, I shout. Quick, come here, look at this. I told you about this. My mum comes into the lounge looking flustered with a tea towel in her hand. What is it, Molly? What's so important right now? She asks, a little impatiently. Just at that moment, the newsreader says, Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back same time tomorrow. Oh, nothing, Mum, I say. Sorry, my mistake. Really, Molly, says Mum, like I haven't got enough to do, and she walks back off into the kitchen. I look across at my Gran, who winks at me with a slight grin on her face. We look at each other for a moment at the same time and say, Liar, liar, pants on fire. And next time I'll read you chapter 5, which is called Just a Joke.